Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to part 3 of this 4-part mini series of low carb food staples and low carb meals. Go and check out part 1 of this series for a grocery haul of everything I bought for a week of low carb eating, including all of the ingredients that you're going to need to make the recipes in this video, which is low carb lunches. So in this video we have 3 recipes of low carb lunches, and these will last me for a whole week because I do double portions, and they are also all options that can be made into meal prep and packed lunches to take to work or school. We have omelettes, we have egg rice cakes, and we also have a chicken thigh and broccoli and cauliflower cooked salad, which I am super excited for. So let's jump in with the first recipe, which is going to be low carb omelettes. Okay, so for today's 2 meals, I'm going to be making omelettes because, believe it or not, you can actually meal prep omelettes. They're not gross if you leave them for a couple of days. So often if I'm wanting low carb lunches for the week, I'll meal prep about 3 omelettes on a Sunday, keep them in some airtight Tupperware and then take them to work. But also I will never make just an omelette, I'll always have it with a side of something. So normally I'll have a side of vegetable sticks with some hummus, which is exactly what I am going to do today. So obviously you can put whatever the heck you want in your omelette. You can make it vegetarian if you want to. My omelette today is going to be vegetarian, but sometimes I will put pancetta in it, which is really nice. But today I'm just going for a classic mushroom and spinach omelette. So I'm going to start by making up the omelette base. I do 3 eggs because I find that's just about enough for me. And then I top up the 3 eggs with a good glug of milk, just because it helps bulk it out a bit and it doesn't really affect the consistency of the omelette if you don't put in too much. So I put in maybe about 50 to 150 ml, and then give it a good mix. And a good pinch of salt as well. Okay, and then I just put that to the side and start heating up some oil in my pan. You can use whatever oil you want. So I use olive oil. And then I've actually really handily got my mushrooms already chopped up in thing. I bought not chopped onions, but then mushrooms. But then last night we cooked with some mushrooms, and then James just chopped them all up for me and put them back in the bucket. Once your oil heated, I'm just going to chuck in the mushrooms, a good kind of handful. And then a big handful of spinach because it's going to wilt down a lot. That much. And then while that is cooking, I'm going to get going on cutting my vegetable sticks. So normally, if I was making 2 omelettes for 2 days worth, I'd use a whole pepper and a couple of carrots. But today I'm not actually meal prepping. I'll use 1 little medium-sized carrot and then half of this red pepper. And while you're chopping, keep an eye on your veggies in the pan. So make sure to give them a good stir as you're chopping. Once your mushrooms are cooked and your spinach is all wilted down, I then turn the heat right down to pretty low and let it just cool down a little bit. Then we're just going to pour over the omelette. And here you can see I'm just grating some cheddar cheese because any omelette without cheese is not an omelette I want to be eating. And then one thing I do to help cook my omelette is I push the cooked egg underneath away from the sides and tilt the pan to get the uncooked egg to then get to the bottom of the pan to cook. Now this is not probably the best way to be cooking an omelette, You can cook the top by popping it in the oven instead, or putting a lid on if you have a pan that has a lid. James actually really hates it when I cook my omelettes this way because it makes them a bit more easy to fall apart, but it's my lazy option and it works. And then when it is pretty much cooked, I then sprinkle on the cheese, give it a bit of time to melt, and then it is finito. There we go, and then just plate up, and then with the veggies on the side. Mine is not very pretty because I'm rubbish at getting it out of the pan, but what I would do if I was doing this at work is I would put my omelettes in a Tupperware and then have the vegetable sticks as well. Take it all to work, and then I'd just buy a pot of hummus and keep that in the fridge at work, and then each day get my hummus out, get my sticks out, put them on the side, and then I would whack the omelette in the Tupperware in the microwave, reheat it, and then I'd have my side, my sticks and my hummus and my omelette. Okay, so today's lunch recipe is a really great meal prep option because you can literally bulk make it and keep it in the fridge in containers and then just get it out whenever you're ready. And I did find this recipe from Flav City, so I'm going to leave that link down to the description box down below if you want to see the recipe written out. But we're going to start by preheating the oven to 200 degrees on a fan oven, or 220 if it's not fan, and then we're going to marinate our chicken. So I've got just 4 chicken thighs here, and this recipe is going to make 4 portions. I'm just going to dump them in a big mixing bowl with a good glug of olive oil. You can use avocado oil as well, and then I've got smoked paprika and ground cumin. We're just going to sprinkle on a decent amount of each, and then leave the chicken breasts to the side to get up to room temperature while we carry on with the rest of the salad. I'm out of cumin, but let's just hope this goes okay anyway. Then while the chicken is marinating, I've got a cauliflower and 1.5 broccolis. You can just use one, but is it broccoli or broccolis? I don't know. You can use one, but I'm just going to use up what I have in the fridge. I'm going to chop this into very small florets. One thing with cauliflower is that you can actually use the leaves. You can stir fry them, and it's really nice in sweet chili sauce with some soy sauce as well. So I am going to keep these leaves to the side for some future recipes, but just don't throw them away basically. And then when the broccoli and cauliflower is all chopped up, we're just going to add it to the same tray with some oil. It can be olive oil, avocado oil, whatever oil you fancy, some salt and some pepper. Give it a good massage in, shake the tray around a little bit, and then we're going to pop it in to cook in our preheated oven for 30 to 40 minutes. You may need to give it a bit of a flip, give it a bit of a shake part way through to make sure that you're not burning anything and you're cooking everything nice and evenly. But other than that, you can pretty much stick it in the oven and then forget about it. Broccoli and cauliflower is cooking in the oven, we can get on with making the salad sauce / dressing. So I'm going to be using a blender, but if you don't have one of those, you can easily make this dressing with a bowl and a fork and just mash all of the ingredients together. But basically we're going to be adding 1 whole avocado, the juice of 1 whole lemon, 2 to 3 cloves of garlic, crushed and minced and diced, and however you want to do it, 2 to 3 tablespoons of mayonnaise, and then salt and pepper to taste depending on how you like it. While the broccoli and cauliflower is still in the oven and we now have our sauce blended, it is now time to cook our chicken. So I am heating a frying pan over the hob and then going to apply olive oil. You can use whatever oil you like. Again, avocado oil is a good option if you can somehow get your hands on this. but I always be using olive oil, and then going to wait for that to heat up for a minute or so before adding the chicken. We're going to be cooking the chicken for about 15 minutes total, so 7 minutes on each side, flipping halfway through. Obviously cook it for a bit longer if it's not yet cooked and you've still got pink in the middle. You want to make sure obviously you're dealing with chicken, so you're cooking it for long enough. And then while that is in the pan, we can get going on the bulk of the salad. So I'm going to dice up 1 red onion, chop up 3 to 4 sticks of celery. I've then got some whole almonds, which I'm just going to chop into roughly halves, not very well, to be honest with you. And then finally, we've got some fresh parsley, about 2 tablespoons worth. Again, just going to chop that all up, pop it in a bowl, and make sure to keep an eye on the chicken while you're doing this prep. And then hopefully everything should be ready at pretty much the same time, ready for us to assemble. So we're going to add our cauliflower and broccoli mix to the salad bowl. You can see there I did take my eye off the ball slightly and burnt the top, but it was actually cooked really well through the middle. We then add our sauce on top of our broccoli and salad mixture, and I'm going to give that a good mix in. Then I'm going to take the chicken off the heat, cut it into strips, and then you can just serve your salad with your side of chicken thigh. Okay, and our final lunch idea is actually really simple. It's the most high carb lunch we have. I just shut the door because I got the kettle boiling and it was going to be really loud. But it's the most high carb option we have, which is rice cakes, but these are still pretty low carb, so it's not going to be keto or anything. Each rice cake only has 5 grams of carb, so I personally have 3 rice cakes each time, which is only 15 grams of carb for a whole meal, which I don't think is too bad. And I'm going to put some soft or hard boiled eggs on the rice cakes. Honestly, depends on how well I end up cooking them, but I do 2 eggs per 3 rice cakes. My kettle is just about boiled, so I'm going to get these eggs going. And then obviously I don't think 3 rice cakes is going to be enough to fill any of us up, and also we want to make sure we are getting some form of vitamins and minerals. So obviously this is kind of exactly the same as what I did for the omelettes, but I'm going to do some vegetable sticks with hummus. So I've got carrots and pepper, but you can also add cucumber or celery if you wanted to, but I used up pretty much all of my celery in the other lunch meal, the chicken thigh salad recipe, so it's just going to be these 2 to go as an accompaniment for my main dish, if you can even call it a dish, today. So this lunch idea is obviously a really simple, quick, easy option. I wanted to just throw in something for when you don't have very much time. So obviously while the eggs are boiling, I chop up the vegetable sticks. I leave the eggs for about 10 minutes from boiling, and then once they're done, I empty out the hot water, put in cold water, pour out the cold water again and put in new cold water, and that cools the eggs right down so that then they're not going to burn you when you try to get their shells off. Okay, so this next step is optional. It kind of depends on your own personal taste. But I'm going to add mayo to the base of my rice cakes, kind of like an egg mayo sandwich vibe. But if you don't like mayo, any other sauce that you like to have with your eggs. And if you don't like eggs as well, you can just completely swap out something else on top of your rice cakes, like tuna mayo, tuna and cucumber. If you don't eat meat, then Marmite is a good option as well if you do like Marmite. But yeah, I'm just going to get to constructing the rice cakes. have all plated up, got my hummus, got my vegetable sticks, and got my rice cakes. Obviously nothing revolutionary, but I think it's just a good little recipe or lunch idea to have in the bag for when you're stuck for low carb lunches. And like I said, these are only 5 grams of carbs each, so keeping them in stock in the cupboard is also good for snacks. You can make them sweet as well. But yeah, gonna dig into this now. So that is our week of low carb lunches. I think when I switched to low carb, lunches were the hardest one for me because I literally used to have a sandwich every single day. So finding alternatives was really important for me, and I think I finally found good solid recipes that I actually enjoy for lunch and have been an acceptable sandwich alternative in my opinion. But please do share any low carb lunches that you enjoy down below so that I can expand my repertoire. To be honest with you, these 3 are the only 3 that I currently have that I cook regularly and that I enjoy for lunch, so I would love to have some more options. But yeah, for now that is it for this one. Make sure you are subscribed to see the final episode in this series, which is going to be low carb snack options, including portable snacks that you can take to work, quick snacks that you can make, snacks that you can have just around so you don't even need to think about them, and also a keto mug cake, which I am super excited to share. But that is it for this one. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye!